Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday edition of DLP TV. Tonight we are going to be looking at issues in governance, and we are going to focus on incompetence in government, corruption in government, and the disorder that has characterized the life of this government. You will find that a lot of it has not been highly publicized in the mainstream media, and we feel that it is our responsibility to highlight these issues and to bring them, these issues to Barbadians. Again, we have a distinguished panel tonight. To my far left is our candidate for the city, Mr. Dale Rowe. Welcome to the program, Dale.
Good evening, sir.
You're welcome.
Yours.
Thank you. And to my immediate left is Miss Felicia Dujon, our spokesperson, very, very busy spokesperson on matters of education. And we are staying with education, not education transformation. Education has done a lot for Barbados. This education transformation business, we're not sure what it is about, but you'll have a lot to say on that soon. Welcome,
evening.
Felicia.
Good evening. Welcome, and to our fellow panelists and to our viewers, good evening, Barbados.
Thank you. To my immediate right, we haven't been seeing our next panelist as often as we should. She's our spokesperson on agriculture. This evening, I was driving through St. John, Amoy, and there's a lot of land lying idle in St. John. Of all places, St. John is the parish traditionally with the most plantations. So we do know that the physical evidence is there that agriculture is in decline. But this evening, we are not discussing agriculture.
But that's a prime example of incompetence.
There we are. So you've heard, Amoy is reared and ready to go. Welcome, Amoy. And Amoy is our candidate for Christchurch East. And to Amoy's immediate right, Dr. Elvis Wickham. The doctor has really distinguished himself on this program, very clear in thought and clear in his opinions and so on. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Barbados.
Thank you. I think we're going to start with a video this evening. We are? Please don't laugh.
It's the voice of Jacob, the hand of Esau. You want me to read them, Mr. Speaker? Do the people of Barbados find an interest in this? That their precious lands, which every government used to put into the name of the National Housing Corporation, thou good and faithful servant, the National Housing Corporation, is deemed to be a failure in 2024, and a private company masquerading in the clothing of public status is handed these private lands, the voice of Jacob, the hand of Esau. Number one, Branchbury St. Joseph, 10 acres. Projected number of solutions. Nobody, this government no longer builds houses, this government builds solutions. 61 solutions. And for the sake of the public that's not interested in that sexy language, 61 houses. Bright Hall, St. Lucie, 40 acres, 380 houses. Colleton St. John, 27 acres, 324 houses. Cottage St. George, 27 acres as well, 324. I know, I know what brought you to life. Look, they can fire you, you know. I can beg for you. I know this is not your voice. I know that. I understand the situation in which you find yourself. Honorable Speaker, please control the member for St. George South.
Good afternoon, Barbadians. After discussion, I received earlier today a request from the Honorable Dwight Sutherland to be relieved of his ministerial portfolio in housing, lands, and maintenance. I have accepted his request.
You can't lie. Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
I had asked the panel not to laugh. And we all disobeyed. That was my budget reply of 2024, around March, I think. And this is not, I'm not a prophet, as I say, but you saw the trends in government. And at that time, I predicted to Dwight Sutherland that he would be fired. I mean, you could see it coming, that he had to bear the weight of hope, and that at some point they would make an example of him. They took a long time with him, but it finally happened. And that has been the trend in government and in government's behavior. This evening, we want to look at incompetence, something that the government has tried to disguise its incompetence in pretty speeches and a lot of cliches and so on. But let us begin with incompetence this evening. And we move away from housing. We've dealt with housing. We've done 2 programs on housing. Let us look at the crisis that is facing not necessarily teachers or parents, but children in Barbados. This problem that every year, you're getting disrupted starts to the school year for children. Felicia, you want to start on that?
Of course. Good evening to our viewers, and of course, good evening to everyone. And as we're seeing the display in the public domain, it's very unfortunate that our children have to suffer by the incompetence of this government. It has happened over the last 7 years. We've seen this administration has not prepared adequately for the return of our school students. Funny enough, I was driving on the highway when I saw students from a particular school out. It was about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Today?
A few days ago, and I decided to stop and ask the question, because as any adult in the community, you see school children being out, you'd want to wonder what's going on.
Yes.
And I asked the question, why are you out so early? Did you release school early? And they said, yes, ma'am, we had to. School is closed and we do not know why. And this is what has been happening across the island. Although the Democratic Labour Party alerted this government that the schools were not ready, I say alert because we did our due diligence. We went across to the island. We went across through the schools. We were observing and monitoring the situation. And we alerted the government that due diligence is important, that they ought to ensure that the schools are prepared adequately and that there's no kind of construction being done at the schools and the schools are safe. But the government continued to mislead the public. They continue to mislead teachers. They continue to mislead our parents, and thinking that parents would have known. You see, the funny thing about the truth is that eventually it will be revealed. And what happens now, we were seeing the consequences of bad governance, incompetence, and the misleading of the public. And what we're observing now is that the parents are standing up for their children. And we're observing that teachers also are raising their voices, are being concerned as to what has been occurring. But this is a government that is in total disarray, not only in education, but from every department under this government. We can see the level of incompetence, the level of mismanagement. And of course, when we talk about public funding, we will see exactly as we go around, we will see the discussions on that. It is unfortunate that it's our children that have to endure the bruteness of this government and the coolness. It seems as if there's no love, no care. That when our children go to school, that they're not concerned, that it's not a safe environment for them. Because perhaps they do not understand what it is like to be in an environment which is unsafe. So for them, they believe that if we say that school can be reopened, parents will send these children to school in whatever conditions. I went through some of the schools and I saw not only that it is unsafe, but I believe that the minister or the fired or minister who resigned, because what we also need to know is that some of the schools is under the portfolio of housing.
Really?
Yes. So it's not entirely the Ministry of Education, but also we have to look at their responsibility as well. And so we're seeing that constant mismanagement of public funds not being done the way that it should. But most importantly, what we've seen in the last few days is the toxic behavior from government officials, from the Ministry of Education, how they display their characteristics within the public domain, that game blame, that saying that it's not our fault, it's not our responsibility. It is the parents who told us to put the children in this school, passing the buck and the responsibility on parents and teachers. Or very soon they will say it's the students. The responsibility is the Ministry of Education. The Education Act speaks very clearly in terms of the roles of the minister, and which is the other part that we really need to touch on.
Yes.
Because it seems the minister does not know his mandate. The minister does not recognize that it's his responsibility to know that the children, our students, are in an environment which is safe. The facilities of the school falls under his portfolio. And the mandate of the act in itself, it tells you that these are the roles and responsibilities of a minister. But what we have seen under this government in the last 7 years, we've had 5 ministers of education, and we have not seen any changes in the education system. What we have seen is a pattern of incompetence. We're not going to name the ministers because I'm sure the parents remember some of them, and I'm sure the public remembers some of them. But there is a pattern of behavior, and we would have thought with this new minister of education, things would have been different. Big ideas, big plans, yet the same kinds of behaviors, the same kinds of problems continue to exist while our children suffer. What is most important is that every second a child misses their lesson, it has dire consequences for their learning environment also, and of course for their development. So I think we really need to take that in consideration. The breaches that have existed in the Ministry of Education, the breaches against the Education Act, that the minister has to be held accountable, and of course the CEO. I would like to say that the CEO needs to stop with this constant toxic behavior in the public domain. The denial, it is obvious, and the misleading of the public, because the public trusts public civil servants. We believe what you say. You said all schools are prepared.
Isn't it interesting that we are seeing more of the chief education officer now and less of the minister? Somebody's in trouble, so you send the chief education officer.
Bad news.
Bad
I
news.
think
Bad news, people.
and we have had this chief, the CEO, we've had her since this government came into power. And we have seen over the years how they have used her as a political machine
Yes.
and not as a civil servant.
Yes.
And I believe it's important that when we come to the public expects you to be honest and trustworthy.
Yes.
And so if you tell parents that all is well, then they expect all is well. We do not expect days after that the union is telling us one thing, and then the ministry is saying something else. And then the ministry is coming back and saying, well, the union is not being honest.
And who's suffering?
And the children.
Precisely.
At the end of the day, our students are at home. They're at home, while other students are, while their parents are in school, they are at home. And I think it's important that we understand the impact of those poor decisions
Our children.
and, of course, the poor leadership and the impact that it has had on our children. And we can understand why we see the consequences in their performance. And they're blaming the children that they're not doing what is expected. But we're seeing at the early start of school year that we're seeing all of those kinds of and all these kinds of disruptions, learning disruptions in school. So I think it's a very serious issue, and I think it has to be handled and managed correctly. And I think the minister and the CEO need to be called out for what it is.
Yes. Dale, Felicia used the word that caught my attention, safety. Because you're talking children here, I mean, vulnerable little children. And they're being shoved around. I think Wesley Hall, that's in your constituency, is it?
Yes, sir.
You're all Wesley Hall boy too?
Yes, sir.
I am too. Welcome to the club. So we're Wesley Hall boys, so we have a sentimental interest here. They took them out of Wesley Hall at late notice. This was a last-minute decision.
Last minute decision.
Put them in the YMCA,
Yes.
and another group went to the
Holy Resident Church.
Tabernacle on
Tabernacle,
White
sorry.
Park Road. I'm
White
an
Park
old Pilgrim Holiness boy myself, so I have sentimental interest there as well. It's a building that I don't think is used too often. Years ago in the 70s, we used to go to something called Keswick, and it's an open building.
Yes, sir.
Dust And they've moved them from there. Where have they taken them now?
To Westbury Primary School.
Westbury and
And
the church, St. Leonard's
St.
Church.
Leonard's Church.
How is that? You're our representative in the city, and these are little children. Old Wesley Hall boy yourself. How is this impact? Have you visited at all? You've seen.
I spoke to the constituents.
Excellent. Tell us the
So
story there.
currently we have one of the constituents here in the studio.
Oh, we do.
Yes.
Oh, good.
her son,
Good.
her son attends Wesley Hall.
We might sneak them onto the set later in the show.
You know, interacting with parents.
Yes.
Parents said they would have received notice Friday before school start that they're gonna have a meeting
So this is Friday before the start of
before
school.
the start of school
Before the start of school on the Monday or
On
the
the Monday.
Tuesday?
on the Monday.
On the Monday. So they told them what on Friday?
That they're gonna have a meeting on Sunday that was supposed to start at 4 p.m. The meeting started Sunday around 5 p.m.
Where was this?
It was an online meeting. Yes, online meeting.
So up until Friday, they thought that the children were going back to King Street.
Yes, sir.
That's where the school is and has
Yes.
been for
Yes, sir.
years. So they thought they were going to King Street.
Yes, sir.
Called them in on the weekend.
Called them in on the weekend.
Yes.
Told the parents that they're gonna split the students
Yes.
between the two small locations.
Yes. This is the infant school or the
The junior.
junior.
Yes. So
Right.
one and
Infant.
two,
The one at the
and
front.
then 3 and 4.
Yes.
Class
Yes.
1 and 2, class 3 and 4.
Yes.
So
They still saying class? Thought they were saying grades. We'll come to that later. We'll come to that later.
and a lot of parents might not have access to internet.
Right.
A lot of parents might not have access to the basic necessities
Yes.
like the smartphone,
Right, right.
all these stuff. So
Luxury items.
we need to take these things into consideration.
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of parents sent their children to school on Monday. Students and parents were at this Wesley Hall School,
King Street.
King Street,
Yes.
and then they were directed to go either to YMCA or to the
You mean to walk across?
to walk across
With who?
by themselves.
These little
These
Children?
little ones.
really?
So when I spoke to parents, one parent told me yesterday that her daughter suffered with some issues, medical issues.
Mhm.
When she went to the Tabernacle to take her daughter, as soon as she got there, 8:20, persons came, opened up the building around minutes to 9. As soon as they turned on the fans, they literally thought it was snow.
Oh.
All of the
That's
dust.
the point. That's
all
the
of
point.
the dust.
Because I don't think that building is used.
No, it is not.
So they put the
frequent that
children
area
into a dust bowl.
in a dust bowl. Again, poor management from the Ministry of Education.
Yes.
Point blank period.
Yes.
I can't blame the teacher or the principals for this. You know why? Because they don't have the power to make
Correct.
that call.
Correct. Comes from the ministry.
It comes straight from the ministry.
Yes.
However, they then realize that
I like what you said. So they thought it was snow. So
yeah, they thought it was
yeah, let the public know.
exactly
These
what they
large
told me.
fans, I imagine. I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Blowing up dust on
Blowing
these
up
little
dust.
children.
And they literally thought it was snow. So that's
In a day when just about everybody else has sinus
sinus
problems.
problems.
Yeah.
This one particular girl, she have medical issues.
Yes.
So it is disappointing,
Mhm.
and it shows that we have a government
Yes.
that do not care about the safety of our children.
Safety. The word
In
safety.
addition to safety, they decided that the tabernacle it is not safe enough, so
Yes.
they want to then transfer them to Westbury Primary School.
So the move from the tabernacle took place when? They went to the tabernacle the Monday
Tuesday,
and Tuesday.
and Tuesday, and then they head over to Westbury Primary
On the
School
Tuesday,
on the Tuesday,
Ah,
on the Wednesday,
on the Wednesday. So
Yes,
they
sir.
spent 2 full days at
2 full
the,
days
in
yes.
the dust bowl.
Yes.
And on Wednesday morning, they moved, or they went straight to the other location.
Straight to the other location. So my question is, when they move these students from that location to Westbury,
Mhm.
do you remember earlier this year where the 6-year-old
Mhm.
got struck
Oh yes,
On
yes. We
President
went to
Kennedy
see him
Drive.
actually.
Correct.
Yes, yes. Poor little fella. Yeah,
on the?
he's doing well though.
He's doing well, yes.
Yes.
And he's also a student at Westbury Primary School.
Oh, I see.
So my question is safety.
Mhm.
Why I saw yesterday the guys now painting the pedestrian crossing. So half of the pedestrian crosses were
This is
were
oh,
painted
which street?
yesterday,
Which street is this?
directly in front of Westbury Park.
Oh, where the little fella got struck last year.
No, not on President Kennedy Drive. This is in front of the school.
Or in front of Westbury.
Yes, the pedestrian crossing. was
Something
being
as
painted
basic there
yesterday.
as a pedestrian crossing for
Pedestrian
children.
crossing being painted
Yesterday.
Yesterday. So for me, I don't understand what Chad Blackman doing,
Mhm.
what Dr. Ramona Bradshaw
Mm-hmm.
doing.
I
Or
think
none
Sandra
of them
Husbands
doing.
is in that ministry as well.
It is disappointing.
Yes, yes.
I believe, and I strongly believe, that as a government or person in leadership,
Mhm.
you need to have your checks and balances.
Yes, of course.
Because I saw Mr. Carmichael from the union
Mhm, mhm.
spoke as it relates to Princess Margaret.
Yes.
However, I took my daughter to Leicester Vaughan, and yesterday morning,
Mhm.
the grass at least about 3
There.
feet high, and there were no cutting grass at the
At Leicester Vaughan.
Secondary School.
Before you go to Leicester Vaughan, I want to ask you, bear with us, panelists, because we're all learning here. When these children went to the tabernacle on Monday and Tuesday, what did they do for those 2 days?
Children were very uncomfortable. Children was nauseous. Children had a lot of issues.
Classes took place
Classes took place.
in this
But it
large
was not-
open space,
It was very uncomfortable.
very
hot,
uncomfortable, hot
very
and dusty.
And then you had the guys doing construction, trying to now put up fence, gate,
Where at the same
At the same
tabernacle. So the
tabernacle.
children are inside
and they're doing construction.
and they're doing construction. Come back to Leicester Vaughan then with the high grass.
Leicester Vaughan, I took my daughter to school.
Because Leicester Vaughan hasn't been in the news.
Um,
Right. You put it in the news then.
Yeah.
Let the public know what happened at Leicester Vaughan.
yesterday, they're not cutting the grass at Leicester Vaughan.
At Leicester Vaughan.
On September 9th, which
Yes.
would have been Tuesday,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
there were no painting the pedestrian crossing. They did one side and then they completed the other side yesterday.
This is Westbury or
Westbury.
Leicester Vaughan? Westbury.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Then now you have the issue with Princess Margaret,
Yes.
and it shows me that we have an incompetent ministry.
Yes.
They want to focus on transformation of education, but you cannot get the opening of school completed.
Something as basic as that.
Basic.
Yeah.
When you look at construction,
Mhm.
the hotels usually close to do their construction during summer to
Yes.
September.
Yes. The off
They get
period.
all of their plans, everything approved,
Mhm.
because we submit.
Yes.
Once we get the approval, we then lay off our staff.
And Dale is saying we because Dale is a hotelier. So
You know,
you worked in the hotel
Yes, sir.
industry. Yeah, you speak with authority.
you know, so the last minute decision for me is why Mr. Blackman would have authorized for construction to be done on Monday. That shows me
This is at the Wesley Hall
the
School,
Wesley Hall School.
and a last minute decision
Last
to
minute
shove the
decision.
children into a tabernacle, which is a dust bowl.
Yeah.
Fans blowing up the dust. And then 2 days later, you shove them down to Westbury
Westbury.
and
And
the church.
But it
Last minute decisions.
last minute decision. In addition to that,
Yes,
let us
please.
let us look at those students
Mhm.
that are 6 years old
Yes.
that have you're 6, you're in the smaller class, and then you have your older sibling that is in class 4.
Yes.
So when you leave home, you have to walk to YMCA to take
Yes.
your class
Yes.
1 brother or sister,
Yes.
and then you have to leave YMCA and then head over. So why put them at 2 satellite locations?
Correct. Correct.
Number 1, proper planning should have took place as opposed to focusing on Carifesta. Carifesta was okay.
We're gonna come
you
to
know,
Carrie Fester. We're gonna
but,
come
you
to
know,
Carrie Fester.
For me, I am really frustrated and annoyed with this
Mhm.
because
And you're a parent.
yes, sir.
Yes.
Because we cannot have our children going
Mm-hmm.
to 2 different locations. Because if I have to get work for 8 o'clock, so like the young lady here,
Mhm.
she had to get to work for 9.
Mhm.
She took her son.
Mhm.
At 8:35, there were no person there at YMCA to receive them.
Yes.
The AC stopped working yesterday.
Mhm.
So you have these children in these conditions
The AC where?
at YMCA.
Oh, they. Oh, I
AC
see.
not working.
Also,
it's
it was intended that they would have been in air-conditioned premises at the YMCA,
At the YMCA.
and that stopped working.
And that is not working.
There's no accountability, I think. There's no.
Felicia, can I? Not Felicia. Amoy. Amoy, can I ask you? Look, how is all this? And thanks, Dale. That's very comprehensive. I mean, it's good to see that you were able to bring parents here. You're really working in the community. Amoy, could you tell Barbadians why this is happening? Is there any explanation? Can we make an excuse for the government here?
No, you can make
Why is
no
it happening?
excuse.
Dale told us that the
As Dale
hoteliers
said, point blank, they're incompetent.
incompetent.
Yes, and another.
Yeah, but
to
this is
bounce-
simple, Amoy. I mean,
bounce
you go on
back-
vacation, you fix the school.
to
So that when the child
It's
comes
true.
in September, why is this happening?
No, but stick a pin on that note.
Uh-huh.
But just to bounce something off of what Dale said just now about the incompetence.
Mhm.
Another aspect of the incompetence is the blame game,
Yes.
because not only are they blaming parents, they're blaming the contractors, saying that they need to stick to deadlines. But as you identified, how would the contractors be authorized to start the work? They should have started the work ever since.
So what's happening in
Not
summer?
now.
We just
Well, last year, back to your point, last
Uh-huh.
year we heard Dr. Ramona Bradshaw.
because
tell-
this same thing happened last year
Yes,
and possibly the year before.
Yes.
So it's a ritual now.
it's just repetition.
Mhm.
But she told us that they're going to have a program where they maintain the schools, proper maintenance of the schools. But here we are in 2025, and she's repeating the same thing she said last year
Yeah.
about maintaining the schools
Yeah.
during the vacation. They had 9 weeks.
9 weeks.
9 weeks, and it's just repetition. Unfortunately, it's
Doc, you're a parent too. We're all 4 of us are parents of young children. How is this appealing to you? I mean, it happens every year. What can we say to Barbadians? Well, we here can say to Barbadians that the solution must be simple. You start the work early. How is this appealing to you, Doc?
It is very exciting
Yeah.
to hear what Dale said. And I too am very
The
familiar
detail, yeah.
with the Tabernacle location. I haven't been there many times.
Oh, you did a Keswick there as well?
Yeah. It is very dusty because of where
yeah,
it would have been
it's
very
open.
dusty because of where it's located. So to
Yes.
hear that the children had to go through that, and as a physician, knowing what can happen as a result of dust exposure like that is not
Right.
just the immediate asthma attacks, sinus flare-ups. They're medium and longer term issues
Yes.
as a result. And this after the chief gave the assurance to the
Mhm.
Barbadian public that
Yes.
all schools will be open and they're good to go.
Mhm.
A lot of bravado talk, which, as you said, we heard this before. It's like a horror movie,
Yes.
right? That's stuck on repeat. It's like a
Yes.
horror movie stuck on repeat. Why it happened, they would have to answer, but government would have been distracted,
Mhm.
priorities
Mhm.
misplaced, perhaps. I said last time I was here that the focus seems to be on projecting an image to the region and to the wider world. So, we
Mhm.
concerned about crop over and Carifesta, important events, no doubt. But something as basic as the children being ready, the schools being ready for the children to return September 8th, that date was known long ago.
Months
long
ago.
ago. Why were there in this state?
Yeah.
And children actually enjoy that after the assurance was given
Yes.
that everything was in order. So someone doesn't know what they're doing.
Look, I want to lean on your medical expertise. I'm not going to waste your presence here. This is the Tabernacle roadside. I mean, literally at roadside.
Literally right next to a busy road.
Noise.
Very busy road.
Dust from the vehicles.
Yes.
What are the medical exposures?
Noise, dust, exhaust fumes as well. And let's
Exhaust
not
fumes,
forget that a lot of
yes.
heavy vehicles traverse
Yes.
that
Oh, it's a
part of the main
well-traveled road.
Yes,
Yes.
a very well traveled road. So, and like I said, in the immediate, there are significant sinus issues that persons can experience.
Yes.
Headache, congestion that can lead to respiratory infection. You
Mhm.
can also have asthma
Asthma,
flare-ups, which may not be so obvious then, but hours later, overnight, and in the following days, asthma, as we know, is an extremely serious
yes.
condition,
Yes.
life-threatening,
People
and
die.
can even be fatal.
Yes.
skin
Yeah.
irritation,
Skin irritation,
eczema
as well.
flare-up.
Yeah, eczema
So
flare.
the Tabernacle location was a bad decision. Is that what you're saying to us? I mean, we're talking children. What age, Dale? 6.
Yeah.
From 4, from 5,
From,
from 5.
no, yeah, from 6. 'Cause
The little ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did class 1, class 2, and 3 and 4.
So, Doc, tell us about exposing children to the noise, the dust, and the exhaust fumes. right there.
At a time when, in the case of asthma, children are more likely to suffer flare-ups. So it is well known that for many persons, as they get older, asthma quite often will be less bothersome, but that
Yes.
age group is a
They're
particularly
vulnerable.
sensitive
I see.
age group.
Yeah. Dale.
When I sit down and I study it, sir, when we look at the systems, which is SOP, because I remember the Prime Minister,
SOP, tell us.
SOP, Standard Operation
Oh,
Procedures.
thank you.
So we look at SOPs as it relates to checks and balances and the things we need to put in place.
Yes.
I heard the Prime Minister highly, spoke really well about Mr. Blackman,
Mhm.
his international
Yes,
status.
yes, we heard all that.
So me coming from an international status as well as relates to managing, I manage some of the best hotels in Barbados.
Yes.
And when you're gonna take on a serious venture, you need to do a site inspection. So my question is, I do not believe that the ministry did a site inspection at the YMCA nor the Tabernacle.
Excellent.
Because last minute decision that was the last minute decision that was made. And then when I sit down and really look at it, it's like, I think that they want to call elections in January. Wesley Hall is the main and the heartbeat. So under construction, it will be a bad move to start the construction in January. That is my thought process.
I see. Before you go to the election,
I'm just saying.
Let me come to our human rights advocate. Felicia, you've heard Dale and you've heard the doc talk about the particular exposure. And you're talking 4, 5, 6-year-old children. How much respect could this government have had for those little children?
I think, and I believe that we have seen the part of behavior of this government. This is the same government that gave students the IDB survey.
Yes,
this is the
indeed.
same government that dealt with the Springer fire drills. So we have seen that kind of behavior from this government that clearly violated children's rights, their rights to privacy. And so the reality is that we should not be too surprised with that kind of behavior and conduct when it comes to human rights violation, children's rights violation, because yes, children do have the right to be in an environment which is safe, in particular when it comes to school. If you're placing children at risk, at that kind of risk, where the health is of concern, where their safety is of concern, I think parents have a legitimate reason to have the Prime Minister to step in. I think it's about time the Prime Minister realized that every Minister of Education that she places there places our children at risk. It has not changed. In the last 7 years, you have given us ministers that clearly do not understand the fundamental rights of children. They do not understand that we have signed treaties, international treaties, when it comes to children's rights. And we have seen over the years that these individuals perhaps need to re-examine what they think about children's rights, especially when it comes to education. Education is not only just to be in an environment where there is instruction and learning, it is also about the safety.
Safety, yes.
And it's very important. And one of the things that I need to add, this is the same government that has left security unchecked at schools, where children were sexually violated. Let us not forget that.
So we are possibly colliding with the international conventions.
We have been breaching those conventions.
And the public's not particularly
I think the public has gotten to the point where they're just waiting for the right moment to recall their dissatisfaction. Because every year it's the same kinds of concerns that we have to deal with. Every year you will see parents on television telling this government, get your act together.
Yes.
We cannot be leaving our jobs. We cannot have our children. And one of the things that we need to remember, sometimes when those young children, when you ask parents to come, parents can't just immediately leave work. They cannot do that. And it's in the insensitivity of this government where they do not consider that parents are at work and parents ensure that they do everything that is required. And this is what bothers me much, is that you see how parents work very hard. When parents get paid, they quickly go to the stores, get the school uniforms. And we heard what the business owners told us about how expensive it has gotten. and
Mhm.
parents ensure that their children have everything prepared. Parents do their part.
Mhm.
But this ministry, particularly the minister and the government itself, as I said before, it's a government in disarray.
Mhm.
And they do not understand the kind of egregious actions that they have,
Mhm.
the choices, the kinds of decisions that they've made. It's poor leadership from the head to the bottom. And our children are being affected by it.
I want to be clear on one thing. You keep using the word safety. Dale, when they were moving the children, they moved them in buses or they walked them along the street?
The parents that were there walked with their students or drove to the location, to the satellite locations.
Mhm.
The students that walked to school
Yes.
because parents had to start either the minimum wage job early.
Right.
So those parents were not there.
Mhm.
So the students had to take smaller siblings to YMCA and then head over to the tabernacle.
Mhm.
You as a parent, you believe that, I got to work at 8. I assume that my daughter, my son
It's safe.
is safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there were no person there to receive them at 8:30 start. In addition to that, they had a bathroom situation where both males and females were using the same washroom.
Mhm.
And this came from my constituents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of
Thanks
these.
for being in touch with the constituents.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And look, it isn't that we're bashing the government or the Ministry of Education, but you're talking about child safety
Of
here.
course. Of course.
In a very basic way, something that
Correct.
has been happening from the time we were that age, and it was never an issue. And every year it's an issue. It's annoying. So we are so annoyed about it. Let us try to forget it for the time being and come to a different topic. Over the last couple of years, we've seen this emergence of entertainment. The school year begins with entertainment. You know of that, do you?
Heard of it.
Good. And I asked a principal, obviously not identified here, why are y'all doing this? He said, no. The principal said, oh, it comes from up top. And I'm not saying the minister. He said it came from the ministry. This first day of school, and you have the entertainers in, and the children are dancing, and so on. What's your view on this?
On the one hand, wanting to create a positive feel and vibe and atmosphere at the school
Feel good.
seems
Mhm.
innocent enough, on the one hand. On the other hand, I see it as just another way of distracting.
Distracting.
We have embraced quite an entertainment culture, which in and
Yeah.
of itself is not a bad thing.
Mhm.
But it has been used for distraction.
Mhm.
Where you flood the airwaves. There's something always happening. Again, in and of itself, not a bad thing,
Mhm.
but it's a means to distract persons away from the pressing issues.
Mhm.
Remember, this at a time when year after year after year, the ministry can't get its act together.
Mhm.
Somebody's busy making arrangements to see entertainers to book them and so on and put the plans in place.
Mhm.
Someone's busy doing all of that. Why not be busy visiting the schools and ensuring that everything is in order?
Precisely.
Priorities.
Mhm.
Okay, so you had a jolly good time with the entertainment first day, but somewhere else in the country, there's children walking the street going from one location to another
Yes.
in a position that they should not be in at all. So for me, it's a matter of misplaced priorities.
Mhm.
And as I said, it is not that the entertainment in and of itself
It's
is
a bad
bad
thing.
thing
But
or
distraction.
can't be done, but is that the most important thing
Mhm.
when you consider all of the issues that we have highlighted so far?
Yes.
You're busy
Yes.
working on entertainment
Yes.
and basic needs are not being met. It's a problem, misplaced priorities.
Yes. Amoy, how do you feel about the entertainment?
Well, I agree. I think he summed it up excellently
Mhm.
because, while it may be innocent at first, it is definitely a distraction. And not only that, too, if some of the entertainers
Mhm.
that are invited into the schools
Mhm.
present a certain, I don't know, just to be straight, a certain waffless culture. Yes, we know about walking up, yes, but there's a time and place for those things. And I think it sets the wrong tone for the
Mhm.
beginning of the term
Mhm.
when we're trying to, I don't know, juice the brains and the acumen of the students.
Yeah.
I think they could start with something else. We have culture days, we have Beijing Day, we have Independence, we have
Yeah.
so many other
Yes,
occasions
there are times
that
and occasions
something
for that.
that can, be appropriate.
What was reassuring, Dale, was I saw on social media, I think 2 schools, and they seem to be making an effort to do the opposite of what the doc spoke about. I think it was Springer. They had religious, and it's not that we want to overpower people's life with religious indulgence, but they had a religious sound. And another school, and it was orderly, like how it was in our time. Your view on this, on the entertainment package that begins. You're a parent.
Yes. So entertainment has a time and a place.
Yes.
On the first day of school, all right, let me move away from the first day of school.
Mhm.
I like to listen to dub music,
Yes.
hip hop music.
Yes.
But on the morning, I don't listen to dub nor hip hop. My mornings start with motivational,
I see.
anything of positive or
Yes.
substance
That can uplift you.
that can uplift me.
Mhm.
And when I play this, I play out loud that the family members, my
Yes.
children, they can hear.
They can benefit. as
You know,
well.
so it's all about uplifting because the music is a frequency.
Mhm.
So when the frequency is set to a particular tempo,
Mhm.
that rhythm goes into your subconscious mind,
Right.
and then you start to have certain behaviors. So when you see the young people now get out of the van after listening to all the vibes cartel, the skilly bang,
Yes.
they're a little hype, the hype.
In fact, Dale, if you hear a song early in the morning, in the afternoon, you're still singing
It's
it.
still singing it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so the morning time,
Even as an adult.
as an adult. So
Yeah.
you're the morning, how you start your first hour
Mhm.
will set the
Sets
tone,
the tone,
for your
yes.
entire day.
Yes.
So I believe the first day of school, I have to give Lester Vaughan credit because
Yes.
when I took my daughter on the first day, they had prayers.
They had prayers.
So I believe that we should start our first day, with prayers. We now had Carrie Fest and we just had Crop Over, so we don't need Tap Band and Mother Sally
Mhm.
or these entertainment,
Mhm. Mhm.
in the school on the first day.
Right. Right.
I believe that we should bring that in, like Amoy said,
Mhm.
for independence.
Yes.
We
Yes.
also
Festive occasion.
Festive occasion. So
And
we
the
have
start of school is not a festive
No.
occasion.
not at all.
Yeah.
Because it's a distraction. Then one, we have the young girls coming with the fox locks, the braids, distraction. Then we have the
Eyelash.
the boys wearing the high afros and the sponge in it. You get me?
Let's come to deportment then.
So it's a distraction. So now you get to school,
Mhm.
you're there,
Mhm.
you know, get off the van, hearing Skilly Bang.
Hearing who?
Skilly Bang.
Okay.
Listening to these guys. You just got off the van. And then when you enter the school gates, Mother Sally and the Tap Band.
Uh-huh.
Nothing is wrong with Mother Sally and the Tap Band, however.
Occasion.
Not on the first day of
Not on
school.
the first day,
I
yeah.
believe on the first day we need to lay the ground rules,
Yes.
set some goals,
Yes.
set a vision,
Standards.
pray to the creator,
Yes.
and just share a moment of peace, focus, and let us start a brand new school term.
Mhm.
Maybe if it was January,
Mhm.
which is the second term, which is sports term,
Yes.
I could
Yes.
understand
Yes.
why you then want to use Mother Salah and
Right,
Kapan
right.
in the second term,
Yes.
which is considered the track and field term.
The track and field term. Felicia, you're a young mother.
Not young, but go ahead. Let's go ahead.
How does this they're still doing morning assembly at schools
I
with
think,
prayer
yes, and we have
so on?
to
They're still
be
doing it?
reminded. I'm very thankful and grateful that principals have continued
Mhm.
to ensure that students do assembly.
Yes.
I am not sure, or I don't know if I would support entertainment before school. I think school has its own setting.
Yes.
I think every environment has its own setting, and even as an educator myself,
Mhm.
I don't think I'd want to see my students engaging in that act before they enter classrooms.
Mhm.
I think and there's a spiritual element to it as well.
Yes.
I think that when learning really taps into the soul, and you
Mhm.
want the soul as calm as possible
Yes.
when you get into that space. And I think one of the things that you want to do is to calm the spirit of our children.
Mhm.
We do not know what homes they're coming from. We do not know what environments they're coming from. I want to ensure that they had a good breakfast. Perhaps that's what they need to do.
Mhm.
Ensure that all our children, that money they're taking to do entertainment, why don't we
Yes.
do breakfast at all schools?
Yes.
That would be a good opportunity so that we know that they're well fed when they come to the classrooms, to ensure that they have the supplies,
Mhm.
because perhaps they don't have all the supplies. Perhaps we want to look at, the school meals, ensure
Mhm.
that our lunches are
Yes.
prepared for our children. Very much what our comrade is saying, that our priorities doesn't seem to be person-centered,
Yes.
student-centered,
Yes.
because you're thinking about entertainment and hungry bellies.
Yeah.
You're thinking about entertainment where at some point the children may, as I said before, they may not have had the balance that they need spiritually to enter the space that they're coming in. So I would agree that we need to set the tone for them.
Mhm.
We need to know that they're coming into a safe environment, that our teachers are there to help them, that we love them,
Mhm.
and that we will care for them for the
Mhm.
rest of the time that they're with us. And I think that is the tone that we want to set. All kinds of entertainment, we will leave that with the Prime Minister and her cabinet. But when it comes to schools, I think the school setting should remain a school setting, a
Mhm.
very disciplined and structured setting.
Thank you. Amoy, you're a young mom as well, apart from being a politician. Felicia mentioned the question of school meals, and we've heard some horror stories of children going to school hungry. You wake up tomorrow, you're Minister of Government Education. How would you treat the issue of school meals?
Well, I suppose was agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's food.
Right.
Not unrelated at
Um,
all.
One thing I think is lacking within this government is intergovernmental collaboration.
Mhm.
So I think the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Agriculture
Mhm.
should all be working hand in hand.
Excellent.
With respect to the school meals specifically, I would like to see every primary school and every secondary school with a food garden program.
Food garden.
Yes.
Mhm, mhm.
So when we're talking growing your own food, producing your own food at a school-based level,
Mhm.
you can also help once it gets off the ground and they're growing their own foods.
That's
that can
provided you have the
also-
space.
Yes.
But I want to ask you, I want to zero in on this. Do you think that there is scope for breakfast programs in schools?
Well, going back saying to the community, the school gardens,
Mhm.
right? The school gardens would give the students the ability to one, feed themselves.
Yeah, but
They
while
would be able-
while the garden growing, the child may be starving.
Well, well,
Do you think we should
yes.
start a breakfast
you
program in
have to
schools
start.
immediately?
You have to start some. Well, the breakfast program
Yeah,
is
the
an
breakfast-
excellent idea.
Yes,
That
yes.
can be started immediately, right? But with respect to the school meals specifically and the connection with the agriculture and having a school garden,
Mhm.
the idea would be that that school garden will help supplement the school meals,
Yes. Okay.
right, with nutritious foods.
When you speak school meals, you're talking about the lunch hour, that 12 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I'm talking about but the meals that are provided by the ministry for the schools.
For the 12 o'clock hour.
Yes,
But
but
could we be
supposedly
looking?
12 o'clock. Because
Yeah,
sometimes the
I
meals
heard they
get
come
there
in.
at
But could
2
we look
o'clock.
at a breakfast program?
Yes,
You go to school and
I
Is that
highly
something-
recommend it.
because Dale
highly
would tell
recommend
us
it.
that there are a lot of children going to school
Yes, and
who have not
especially
had breakfast,
especially
and
with the
some of
cost of
them
living
don't
like
go
this.
because they have not had breakfast.
and that is becoming commonplace, and that
But there
we
we are.
should not be at this point.
Precisely.
We shouldn't be at this
Precisely.
point. So a breakfast program, I think they even mentioned it a couple of years
Yeah.
back, but that fizzled out.
Without nothing.
But the Democratic Labour Party will ensure that our breakfast program will be done for all, implemented for all schools.
Look
And
in the
I
camera and
want,
say,
Barbadians
because they
to
say
know
we don't
that.
come with solutions.
Yes, and
Tell the camera.
I have been saying it for a while now that the Democratic Labour Party seriously we will consider and we will implement a breakfast program for all schools, from secondary, primary, and in nursery schools as well.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
it's very critical because your breakfast is one of your first and most positive, healthy meals that you can have.
Mhm.
And it will help sustain our students because you want to ensure that they are adequately fed and they're focused and it's nutritious. And I think, yes, we can do that, Amoy, with in terms of having a bread. Because what do you need? You need eggs, you need milk, you need some bread, some oats, some grains, and some fruits. And I think we can do that for our students because we want our students to be very healthy while they're in our units, in our education schools, in our schools. And I think this is what we're discussing. It's not only about having our students come and learn. It's not only about instruction, but also about caring for our citizens.
Yes.
And ensuring that they are
Yes.
well fed. And it's very disappointing that to this day, this government has not seen the need to re-examine and to revise or review the school meals program. I have seen what they look like. I go around the schools, so I see what they look like. And it hurts me as a parent because I would, for us, it almost feels that if I can cook every day and send it to the children, I would have done that because I just want children to eat well.
Yeah.
Just what I see, I was like, yes, I know that some parents may not be able to afford, but that does not mean that they do not deserve the best. It doesn't mean because you're from a social bracket that you deserve minimum. And I think every child in Barbados deserves the best meals, particularly for lunch. We have sweet potatoes, we have our fish, we have all of those produce that we could use locally. We just need our Minister of Agriculture, Ms. Amoy Galgo, to become, and I know that she will do a very good job compared to what we have now, that will sustain our societies, that we need to grow what we have and provide it to our children. And I think the breakfast program is one of the most critical part of the meal that we should have, as opposed to lunchtime, because you can imagine a child that has not had breakfast have to wait until 12. Now it's 12:15 to have something to eat.
I don't know if any of y'all remember getting milk in the morning.
Milk and biscuits, around 10 o'clock, I think.
If you have more than one child, I have children coming down. Like I remember when my older children had that experience. The younger ones now have no clue. They did nothing. I mean, to be fair, I have a grandson at St. Christopher, and I have, a son that went to school at Gordon Waters. St. Christopher's is cool.
You're a granny?
Close. Yes, I am a proud grandmother. It's close to the school meals department where they carry out the school meals. So sometimes when they come home in the evenings and they're talking, my grandson will tell me, well, today we had an orange. And my son, you had fruit. Like I never get fruit ever. So consistency is another thing that we also have to make sure so that we don't have one set of children getting fruit or the healthier foods, and then the ones that are further away from the depot, so to speak, get,
Well, look, we have a doctor in the house, and I wanted to ask Elvis about the importance of a good breakfast, and I mean a good breakfast. Amoy mentioned the word consistency. Apparently, you'll be able to do a good breakfast Monday, but the rest of the week may not be able to afford it, the orange, the egg, and so on. Tell us, what is a good breakfast? Well, the first question, what is the consequence of a child not getting breakfast? And tell us what you think is a good breakfast for a child.
At any age, hunger is not a good thing, It's a distraction for one. Stomach rumbling, persons looking around at you. For some as well, you can get serious headaches as a result of hunger. It's a possible trigger for migraine, which can then come with nausea, vomiting, dizziness, and so on. So very difficult to concentrate on your schoolwork, school activities if you're hungry. Long-term consequences, of poor nutrition, because we're talking here about that. There are many who have fallen through the cracks, which have become now gaping holes in our social fabric because of the high cost of living.
Right. So a bright child could fall through the cracks because
easily.
of hunger.
Very easily. Right. And for me, something as fundamental as ensuring that our children get something to eat. Remember, children don't ask to come to this world.
That's right.
Remember, our government is telling persons they need to have more children.
Yes.
While at the same time not reducing the cost of living. On that point, failing to acknowledge that one reason, a significant reason why persons may not be having more children is the cost of living. They can't afford to feed the ones that they have. So how are they going to get more? Who's going to feed them? This government that is busy partying all the time?
In a few minutes, you're going to tell us about the cost of travel government's travel. But before we get there,
I
tell
wanna
Felicia.
jump- I want to jump on the breakfast program.
Yeah, I
Yes,
wanted to
tell us
say
about
something else
breakfast
to after
programs.
you.
So we have
A
69.
breakfast program that the Democratic Labour Party would implement.
Correct. So we're gonna get there.
But I want you to look in the camera and tell
Yeah.
me.
So how are we gonna implement the breakfast program?
Mhm.
Is by something called the CSR, corporate social responsibilities.
Excellent.
Corporate social responsibilities fall on our companies,
Right. We're
Because-
feeding our children.
because when we give all of these 62 hotels duty-free concessions, we have 62 registered hotels in Barbados.
62.
62.
Mhm.
And we have 69 public primary schools.
Yes.
We have 23 private primary schools.
Yes.
So when we have our hotels open, our kitchens open for 24 hours,
Mhm.
and we have the overnight chef preparing the breakfast
Mhm.
for the guests. And each hotel
Mhm.
could adopt a primary school and help provide breakfast as it relates to for us putting or starting the breakfast program.
Mhm.
Reason why I say this because the hotels will get the duty-free concession on a lot of products.
Mhm.
They're gonna make a lot of profit, and when the breakfast buffets break down, when the breakfast buffet finish at 10:30,
Mhm.
a lot of that stuff is done. So if you have a check and balance, you as the manager or the chef, you would know, well, you done X amount of fruits, pastries, eggs, because they will do scrambled eggs.
Mhm.
They have it on the buffet,
Yes.
and then they keep replenishing it.
Yes.
And then after a while, guests would not come, and they would then have to discard that. Because you
Yes.
can't save
Right. Right.
salmonella and the
Yes.
pathogens and the whole stuff that would build up inside of those eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that if we have 100 guests in the hotel, we're gonna prepare X amount of food.
Mhm.
We can then put a portion of that, pre-pack a portion of that,
Mhm.
because 2 eggs, flour, water, some baking powder, some essence, with some bakes.
Mhm.
The hotels could provide corporate social responsibilities
Yes.
to help us with the breakfast program. Reason why I say this, I did a school tour last term.
Mhm.
I toured several primary schools, and on this tour, I spoke to what would be considered the delinquent boys.
Yes.
So I spoke to several
What age
different
group are you
groups,
talking about, Dale?
between 6 and 11.
Mhm. Mhm.
And when I was speaking to the principal, she said, I might have a hard time trying to get them settled.
She said that to you.
Yeah, she said that because
Mhm.
she said, a lot of them don't have breakfast, and they start their morning with a Buster Doc, a red fruity,
Mhm.
or Fanta Doc
Well, we're
Buster.
going to come to Doc and ask him what is the ideal breakfast for these
Yeah.
children.
Yeah, so
I know you're not a nutritionist, but
But-
we're going to impose on you with that question.
So with witnessing and speaking to those young boys said to me, "Sir, I have not had breakfast."
There.
They had a red fruity or a Buster for breakfast. So
Mhm.
I know if we can get the hotels and big corporations
Mhm.
to make
Mhm.
small contributions to
Yes.
breakfast.
Yes.
Because I reached out to, so Wesley Hall had the 11 plus.
Yes.
I reached out to some companies.
Mhm.
They came on board and we provide 85 lunches.
Really? At one school?
At one school.
At the same Wesley Hall that's being
At the
disrupted
same
now?
Wesley Hall, yes, sir. 85 lunches. And we had banana, we
Mhm.
had nuggets, we
Mhm.
had sandwiches. And as soon as they left the examination room, they came and all 85 students would have received lunch.
Excellent work.
So what I'm
Excellent.
saying is that we can buy in, which
Mhm.
is the hotels.
Yes.
And these big corporations can buy into the corporate responsibility.
Yes.
We,
It's
the
in their
government,
interest to have healthy children.
correct.
And
And
a
then
healthy
we the
population.
government, then we can then focus our resources
Yes.
to making the primary school books the same way
Yes.
how the secondary school books are.
Yes. Yes.
Why we have to pay for the math
Primary
exam?
school and you get the
Yeah.
at secondary free.
Yeah.
I want
You pay like $200
$200
Yeah.
at primary.
at secondary school,
My goodness.
but in primary school you pay $200 per book.
let's come back to the food. Let's come back to
Yeah.
Felicia's breakfast program.
And I think
I want the doc to tell you what would be your ideal breakfast program. I want the doc. Somebody mentioned eggs and fruit.
You definitely want fruit in there.
You want fruit.
in there.
Local
You know,
Mhm.
and different fruit options. You have to consider allergies, etc. So
Yes.
you must have different fruit
I'm
options.
thinking orange. Raise their
banana,
fruit.
apple, orange.
yeah.
etc.
These things
And
are
there's
not
also
good for our
fruit
children.
that what you look at what fruit we grow here locally, because we
Yes,
really need
which
to
is
return
Amoy.
to that.
Mhm.
As far as proteins go, you know, without bashing any particular company,
Mhm,
you know, you want to go for stuff that are lower in fat content,
Yes. yes,
protein. You get your protein there. There are options as far as lentils, what you can do with
Mhm.
lentils. But I really want to mention something about the cereal starch component.
Yes.
Ideally, you want something that contains complex starch
I
as
see.
opposed to simple starch. So like pastry, you know, a lot of children, you often see them on the road with the buster and the jam puff. The problem with that is your sugar spikes up from
Yes.
that much simple carbohydrate,
Yeah.
and then it will come down.
Yes. What does this
Leading
do to the
to-
child?
Right. So when the sugar level then drops as a result of the insulin surge in their body to
Yes.
deal with that sugar spike, they're struggling to keep their eyes open before lunchtime.
Mhm, mhm.
Right. So what's where when students preparing for exams, that's one of the things I talk with them about. You want a more complex carb in your meals, so something like cereal,
Mhm.
you know, as opposed to flour, pastry products, something that your stomach takes a little longer to digest. And water, best beverage as far as I'm
Water.
concerned.
Yeah.
Water is the best beverage.
I am so exceedingly
I mean-
proud of the team that we've put together. You wanted to
Well,
respond
of
to
course, and I
the
do.
doc.
Well, it kind of makes me feel a little better after we were dealing with a very hostile subject with
Yes.
the
Yes.
infrastructure. And I think oats is a very good. I oats and grains. I think that's very good. Bananas using what we have in our society. And I think what is also important. And thank you, Dale, for that. But what we need to be reminded is that the Ministry of Education gets over $600 million yearly.
600 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Budget allocation.
Mhm.
And so we have to look at in terms of how the mismanagement of funds is what happens. So you may get cutbacks in different departments in the ministry, and perhaps this is what is happening. That it's not really the school meals department, it's how much funding is allocated specifically to deal with that. So in
Mhm.
as much as we would like corporate Barbados to assist, I think the government has a responsibility to use taxpayers' money
Yes.
wisely
Yes.
and
yes.
not place them in, departments or areas that is not necessary, like how much we have spent for education transformation and we have not seen anything.
Mhm,
There's
mhm.
no results out
Yes.
we have spent millions of dollars in that department. And I think what is very important as well, while I was doing some academic touring, one of the things I observed is that some universities in the US, what they tend to do is to do an agricultural base on campus. And so perhaps one of the things that we can think about is to have different schools or even university or the community college to look at specific areas of production in terms of food. So a school may primarily just look at egg production. A school may just look at the greens, or a school may look at a particular area so that there is sufficient. And I think that's something that, because we have the land space, we do. The majority of schools have some land space that you can have a small little kitchen garden and things of that nature.
Mhm.
So as opposed to having all schools focus on all areas, there are certain areas we can have a school with just do some
Sweet
carrots
potatoes.
or
Mhm.
sweet potatoes,
Mhm.
and that will sustain because they were on the premises, and we can have that's one of the things that I haven't seen. We have not included agriculture as part of the curriculum.
And that should
And
be.
these are the areas that I think that we need to speak about. So the ministry, it has various components and various departments. Curriculum development, and I understand that we have all of these AI classes and robotics, which is important. But the basic and fundamental sustainment of life that we need, our children need to know how to grow food, basic necessity. And I think these are some of the things that we ought to look at. I think the university have to look at food production as well. I think they have land to do that to help sustain that. So it is possible, but we need the right people that are willing to work, get out of the office and work and do the work of the people so that they can receive the kinds of intervention that is
Yes.
necessary.
Yes, I love Dale's idea
Yeah.
of the marriage between the private sector and government in
Yes.
terms of a breakfast program.
Yes.
And I wanted to turn to Amoy. Uh, let us say we come, the Democratic Labour Party, through this young lady here, introduces a breakfast program. You think they're going to steal it from us?
They can. I don't
Don't worry
think
about
there's
that.
anything about stealing. I think it's who it's who are the benefactors.
The children.
It's the children, and I don't think that we should limit what we can do
Yes.
from our
Yes.
point.
But let's
As-
tell the people what we
Yeah, but
plan
part
to
of
do.
our job as the opposition at this point
Mhm.
is to ensure that this government do what is right by our people and by our
Well,
children.
they can't get it
And if
done,
it-
so we have to
well-
do it. But Amoy, can you? I'm here picturing Felicia's national breakfast program in school,
Mhm.
and I'm here picturing. Well, they have to build facilities in the schools, a meal room. What do you call it?
Mhm.
Prep room?
Prep room.
Yeah.
In the army,
Thank
they
you.
call it something. The mess hall.
Mess hall.
Mess hall.
Mhm.
And I'm picturing this mess hall with what? How many? What's the school rule? 200 children.
Yeah.
Eating together. What is this doing for the relationships between the students? Good or bad?
Well, I mean, it would be bringing them together, no doubt. I don't know. That gives me a vision of something that I've seen on TV with the mess hall. Because normal cultures, you go to the canteen, you get your lunch, you go sit down under a tree somewhere,
Mhm,
or in the
mhm,
pavilion,
mhm.
or find a spot where you and your
Yeah.
clique eat lunch.
Yeah.
So that might be good.
The mess hall
The
idea
mess
then
hall
for the
idea,
children
the
eat together.
cohesion,
Yeah.
the
And they-
encouragement
they-
of camaraderie.
And they say grace before meals
Yes,
together.
they do.
Yeah,
They do it
Thanks
now.
for this.
They do it now.
I think it's a good idea.
You think it's a
It's
good
a very
idea?
good
Doc,
idea.
how do you feel about the mess hall concept? Having 200 or 300 children together eating on mornings, the grace
Well,
before meals.
when you put it like that, 200 or 300 children eating
Well, it depends on the
together,
school roll.
it
How many
sounds
children?
scary.
What's the
No,
average?
it
What's the
doesn't.
average school roll now in primary school?
It
All
varies.
depends on the size.
It all depends
Yeah,
on the
Yeah,
size.
it varies widely.
Because
Varies.
Because
What-
like
what-
one
what-
Ambrose have like
schools
50
are-
students,
50.
Yeah.
and then
then-
we all have almost 400.
Oh, so
So
Depends
all
on
it
where it
varies.
is.
Yeah.
But they
yeah.
can do it by class levels as well.
Yeah.
We can have class levels, the younger ones and then the older ones.
Mhm.
But I think what is significant as well, it shows that regardless of where you're from, we can all sit and eat together.
Precisely.
There's
Precisely.
unity and equality,
yeah,
and I think
yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
important as well.
This idea excites you, Doc? The idea of the
Returning
together.
to community type values,
Yes.
we do have to return to that place where we respect one another. And the best place to start that, I always say the best place to start any kind of training is when children are very young.
Mhm.
I mean, we grew up hearing it's hard, if not impossible, to bend an old tree.
Mhm, mhm.
So, you do want to instill that kind of camaraderie,
yes.
and respect for each other. And a family they often say that eats together, stays
Stays
together.
together. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
can see that being relevant in schools as well.
Mhm. And this is, you want to say something there?
Yes, sir. Breakfast is inexpensive.
Inexpensive. Right.
As it relates to everything we
But you heard the doc shopping list, right?
Yeah.
Food,
food and everything. We import everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we import all of these items, you give the hotels the duty-free concession.
Mhm.
The hotels then could operate. So I would like some advice from, because you're a lawyer. So I just wanted to guide me correctly.
Uh-huh. You're putting me on the spot there.
As it relates to the income tax and tax return.
Mhm.
So I know big corporations, they would file for tax at the end of the year. They get the accountant to do all the numbers.
I see where you're going. They're bringing the food and get the tax concessions.
Correct.
and some of it
So
goes
why
to the
not
schools.
let us gel
with the
with
the
these
hotels.
corporate-
Excellent idea.
people,
Excellent idea.
and they would also cut taxes.
Mhm, mhm.
You get me?
Yeah.
And then we can also help our generations to come because the children is the future.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
these same children will go and work in the hotel.
In the
sector.
hotels, precisely.
The
And be good
same
employees.
children
And be good
and
citizens.
will be great citizens.
Great citizens, yeah.
So
yeah.
I believe that we need to look at it from a different perspective. The Barbados and all of them dump it together. Excuse me, because I'm sorry, sir, but I have to say, when I become the minister of tourism,
Uh-huh.
we will gel
Mhm,
the tourism sector
mhm.
along with the education
Yes.
sector as
And
well.
agriculture.
And
tourism,
agriculture.
which is very
Reason because
profitable.
it goes hand in
Yes.
hand.
Yes, yes. Yes.
You know, because with Miss Dujon and her brilliant ideas, Amoy, her brilliant ideas, and then I have background knowledge on the hotel. Then the hotels benefit. We then have young boys because everybody like to quick to say, oh, your boys have what is called doc? ADHD.
ADHD,
And what is that? You can help us.
attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
So schools, people like to categorize boys that don't sit still having
ADHD.
When I believe that we can look at the root cause. Why are these boys behaving like this? Example, the what you said as it relates to the sugar, sir. When the sugar get into the bloodstream and
It shoots up very high in a short space of time, but then it will crash.
and then they will crash.
And that affects learning.
That affects learning.
Memory, concentration.
Right.
So we need to take all of these things into consideration. And once we gel with the tourism sector, agriculture, and education, we will have students ready and focused
Yes.
to excel. Our boys failing as it relates to reading, our boys failing.
They do worse than the girls. The girls are doing, let me ask it the other way. The girls are doing better than the boys in the system, generally speaking.
Traditionally and still
And
so.
after COVID, you know, it has gotten worse. Cost of living is high. So let us give the parents the ease. Hotel workers right now, a hotel worker came at my residence this morning. He's laid off. And he goes back to work October 15th. He was laid off from the beginning of August. A boy in nursery private and a daughter in secondary. So how is he
making it though?
How is he making it? His girlfriend also works at the same hotel. So both are laid off, waiting on NIS. But now, if the government had really
some people in
cared,
Barbados don't really understand hardship.
It is
Yeah.
very difficult.
if they
They don't.
really cared, they would not put Carrie Festa around the 23rd, 24th. They would put Carrie Festa further down in September. Reason being that is
Yes.
the slow season for our hotel
Dale, you've brought us
sector.
right into the Carifesta discussion that I want to have. We have a video with Carifesta. We have. Okay, we can move straight into that. All right. I wanted us to move the discussion on excellent discussion on education, the Democratic Labour Party's National Breakfast Program in the schools. Excellent. Thanks, Doc, for your medical guidance. You're brave enough to do so law too anyhow. We just had Carifesta, and from all reports, well executed technically. The problem that the public is having is that the high costs, and that coincides with the struggle of children in schools. Back to school, you can't get into a school. The school is dusty. And we've just had a very glitzy event put on, costing millions of dollars. And the minister came to the public this week or last week, this week, I think, and said quite blandly, when we finish adding up the costs, we will tell the public. I mean, a basic lack of understanding as to how government functions. If government is lifting that glass, government budgets. You have to budget. It is the people's money, and you have to give account for the money. But the minister says, "Well, costs. You come to we're adding up."
Sir, I disagree with them. I held
It isn't done like that.
Yeah, I
You
held
budget.
events last year.
Dale, you budget
Yes, sir. You budget
even in private.
even in private. And when we did these events last year, I brought in a guy from Trinidad, very popular Trinidad artist.
Mm-hmm.
The cost was about $8,000.
Don't tell us all your private business.
You know, and before we could have gotten this entertainer to perform,
Mm-hmm.
we had to pay this entertainer a deposit
Mm-hmm.
before he actually confirmed the booking.
Yes.
Then, upon arrival, before he arrived to the show, we need to pay the balance of the money 24 hours.
Really.
Then we need to also accommodate him, his manager, his assistant, and stylist at the hotel
Mm-hmm.
and pay them a per diem.
Mhm.
So the reason why Carrie Festa was so expensive, not because and nothing else but entertainment. Because when you have to pay all of these entertainers,
Mhm.
they can call for money.
Yes.
Or they know it is a regional thing.
Mhm.
It happens every 5 years.
Yes.
So entertainers will not cost what I usually cost for a normal show.
They'll be more
I'm gonna
expensive.
inflate my
Yes,
my,
yes.
my bill
because they need us.
because they need us.
Yes. Yes.
So when I inflate my costs,
Mhm.
I'm gonna send it to you. So the government already know their entertainment budget and their entertainment bill because they had to send half the money to the
Mhm.
entertainers.
Yes.
They had to pay the hotel accommodation and the per diem for every artist, DJ, band, every person that's on the band because the band, it was not just mixtape audio you plug into the laptop and then they play your song. They had a live band.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the drummer is going at $500, 30 minutes.
Really?
Dancers were paid $1,000 per dance.
And
Because-
the QH want 100,000.
But
Yeah.
that's I
No.
I'm coming to that.
Coming to that.
So we spent. Look,
Just priorities.
Amoy, do we have any ideas to the figure for Carrie Festa?
No.
We're entitled to know as citizens. We have any
And
idea?
we were hearing of reports, days, a week plus after Carifest was finished, of persons who have not yet received money, workers who haven't been paid,
But all of,
Have children.
all of the entertainers
who
were
have children that
paid.
need to go back, but the entertainers
All of the entertainers were paid
had to be.
before Carrie Festa start. Point blank.
The figure we're hearing is 40 million. Then I'm hearing 70 million. I mean, I don't know if you went to the market up by Combermere. I'm hearing that had to have been very expensive
It
as a
was.
facility. The thing up by Newton, but that's another story. It's not finished, and I'm told, and I don't mind saying this, I'm told that a part of it may be dismantled. And of course, Amoy, they've done it in agricultural land, which is of
Yes.
particular interest to you.
Which seems to be something that they're doing all the time. If it's
Yeah.
not for housing,
Yeah,
it's for
just these
some
encroachments and saying, oh, the land banks. are like, you know.
non-agricultural project.
Yeah.
This also in the face of public displeasure
Yes.
and outward displeasure because the public complained about it. They said they were totally against, anything building out there.
Yeah.
But here they are.
When I observed Carrie Festa,
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Festa was only so successful because the nights that they had the entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
it was either free or
What was it?
or a lot of tickets were sold really cheap.
Mm-hmm. They give away the ticket.
And they give away a lot of tickets.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I get a couple free tickets too.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that
They're
as
not
a
free.
government, if you're gonna bring entertainers for a big event like this,
Mhm.
you have to look at your costs
Mhm.
and then you have to look at cushioning the blow.
Yes.
So they did not really put a check and balance as it relates to patrons coming. Because if you had a proper system,
Mhm.
you could have made at least some
Somewhere.
overhead
Yeah.
at the door.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I think
They
what-
failed
Selling
miserably.
merch, selling something, you mean?
Even the
yeah.
taxis, because you were shuttled from
Really.
one point to another point.
Hmm.
So you had about 150 ZMs.
How many?
150 ZMs.
I'm
That
already-
shuffling persons to and
Oh,
fro to the vehicle.
they made a lot of money. You started to talk about the hospital with all this spending of money.
Well, I
Carrie
mean,
Festa.
they could have used the money.
The hospital has
Somewhere
been
else.
begging for some
100,000.
money.
100,000.
Can you imagine?
And mind you, the
100,000.
Prime Minister's Cup
It's 100,000.
is 100,000. That's football.
Football.
Okay.
Mhm.
She's seen
Last
like
year,
that.
this year.
100,000.
Mhm.
So, it's incredulous. Misplaced priorities,
Misplaced
as the doc
priorities,
said,
precisely.
right? Misplaced priorities,
Precisely.
mismanagement of the public purse,
Mhm.
and just willful disrespect. And
For taxpayers' money.
yeah, for taxpayers' money.
because
And they really underestimate the intelligence of Barbadians. We're
Mhm.
not just out
That
there.
we'll just accept it.
But
They
it's not
spend
that
it spree.
alone. I think it's I think I've said that before. It's also a matter of leadership where you have a government that believes very much in terms of paternalism. They believe
Mhm.
that they make all the decisions.
Yes.
They're not answerable to
We follow like
citizens.
sheep.
They're not answerable to the average citizen. They do not think that they have to respond to any of our concerns. So when a minister can come openly and say, well, we're still counting,
Mhm.
or we will give you an account soon, it tells you, it speaks about the level of respect that they have for taxpayers.
Very
And-
dismissive.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's no accountability because
Maybe
there's
lack of
no,
understanding as to
and
how government works.
yes, and nobody would, you see, the
nobody
reality,
corrected them.
no, not only that, but who's going to reprimand them?
But there
How
you
will
go.
the public reprimand those ministers when they do things of that nature, when they violate trust, public trust, when they, you know, misallocations? I don't want to say that, but I mean, in terms of funding, who is going to hold them account? The prime minister is not here. The prime minister is hardly here.
Mhm.
And so the reality is that who is going to hold them accountable?
Yes.
There's no sense of accountability. There's no sense of transparency. So we would not know. They will tell us, you know, at some point.
Mhm.
But the reality is that they do not feel that they have to come to the public and respond to the public. Because the public, perhaps is
Uh,
not, you know, the
We tried
public
to
is,
meet on
yeah,
open.
the public is
They,
not,
they voted that it should not be on the agenda.
yeah,
Yeah, because you just said something about, you know, the public's purse, which we've been all talking about.
yes, they're not
The
there.
Public Accounts Committee, Mr.
They
Thorne,
don't,
They
brought
came
that
and
to our
said,
attention.
vote,
Instead,
and they said, no, you can't set the agenda. We set in the agenda. I said, no, it has to be hope.
yeah.
And they said, no, the act gives us the authority to vote on anything. We are voting you. You heard Mr. Abeid?
yes, we did.
Oh, yeah.
We all heard Mr. Abeid.
Talking about the
voice.
increase
Yeah.
in persons asking
Yeah,
for assistance.
And
I've also
I
heard that, yeah.
asked about that. I think the public has heard Mr. Abeid say that the question of need is increasing every year. In other words, that there's greater hardship in Barbados every year. And Elvis, I wanted you to tell us about the Prime Minister's trip because the government has to end this spending spree. And I saw it on social media. The Prime Minister is at Elira Court meeting with somebody, and the next day she's in Algeria. And most people who travel say, but that's not quite possible. You have to go through London overnight, perhaps down the road.
Unless you have your own private
Unless you-
transportation.
So
Private jet.
Dr. Wickham was telling us a few days ago that these things are no longer private matters, that you could track.
You could find the
A private-
information. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we know that PM Motley was at Elira Court on 4th of September because
Yes.
she was meeting one of our cricketing greats there. And we've seen the pictures on GIS.
Yes.
On PM's Facebook page, she was in Algeria the following day.
The following day.
On
which commercial airline, please?
She would have to tell us. But we do know that
Mhm.
a private jet, I could give flight number as well. A
Yes.
private jet took off from Grantley Adams International Airport and arrived in Algiers 7 hours and 52 minutes later.
Nothing beats a jet too long.
7 hours.
Jet-
Or let's call
8
it
hours,
8 hours.
8 hours later. Yeah, private jet.
From
A
here
private-
to Algiers.
Direct flight from
Direct.
Barbados to Algeria, which is in Northern Africa.
That's not cheap.
No, it is not.
Mhm.
The company, their flights go from US $11,000 per flight hour up to US $20,000 per flight hour.
Between 11
So
and 20.
for 8 hours,
Mhm.
that's $88,000 US dollars minimum.
88,000
US dollars minimum. Yes, yeah,
The taxpayers need to know.
minimum. And like I said, that's a range. So that's the minimum cost. We also know that the PM was in Ethiopia the following day. We know that flight, which took off from Barbados, the exact aircraft landed in Algeria,
Yes.
left Algeria and went to Ethiopia the following day. A flight that was 6 hours and 10 minutes.
Africa is not small. So it has to
Africa's
be-
not small. That was a direct flight.
Mhm.
So,
So that's
all
another
total,
6 hours.
if that private that charter company charged the minimum, you're looking at a minimum of 319,000 Barbados dollars.
Barbados or US?
Barbados.
Barbados,
Yeah, a
319,000.
minimum 319,000 Barbados dollars to go from Barbados to Algeria to
Algeria
Ethiopia.
to Ethiopia.
And bear in mind that I'm pretty sure the Prime Minister is not walking back. That figure does not include accommodation, it does not include ground transport, and it does not
diems.
include per diems.
Per diem.
Does not include that.
Mhm.
This at a time when our Queen Elizabeth Hospital in desperate need of
Yes.
blood gas machines
Yes.
and is more or less walking around with sponsor walk sheet.
My goodness.
2 of those machines, $100,000. So just the outgoing flight alone could have purchased 3.
3.
The flight to Ethiopia could have purchased another 3. We could have had 6 of those blood gas machines just from the flight from Barbados to get to Ethiopia.
So going in one direction, over 300,000 Barbados.
Yes, please.
And you say she's not walking back. We can
Pretty
double
sure she's not walking back. No, it may very well be that some of the cost of this trip was shared with another head of state.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But let's get the cost. And
It
and
may
she-
very well
and
be.
she
But
will-
we
she
need
will
to
tell
know, the
Barbadians
people of
how the
Barbados
costs
need
were
to
split.
know whether taxpayers' money
Precisely.
funded this trip
Precisely.
or whether it was a gift.
Precisely.
And if it was a gift, what is the quid pro quo?
Correct.
Because nobody's giving you $500,000+ in
That-
flight expenses
Precisely.
for nothing.
Precisely.
It's not going to happen. What's the quid pro quo?
Or
And like I said,
land
this at a
somewhere.
time when our hospital is
It's
begging
At the site
for
of
blood gas
Barbados,
machines
begging,
that
yeah.
could easily have been
Yeah.
bought
Yeah.
with just the outgoing expenses. And this also against the backdrop on the point of the hospital seeking public assistance. A private facility, remember, received tax concessions from government recently
Mhm.
on the promise that they would be helping the public. We are
Yes.
yet to hear any details of how
Yeah.
taxpayer dollars that were used to support a private facility, we're
Mhm.
yet to hear details of how the public will be helped.
Yes.
But our hospital is in desperate need of blood gas machines. And our leaders live in the opulent lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like I said, it may very well be that it was a gift
Mhm.
or it was co-funded, but either way, it was a significant source of funds, and that is something we need to know. This against the backdrop of 93 trips
Yes.
in 81 months, which is what was revealed to us in March of this year.
93.
93 trips
So more
in
than one a
81
month.
months, more than one a month, at a time when you couldn't travel due to COVID for about 20 months at least.
Yes. Yes. So you took out the COVID period.
No, that's 81 months from
Including COVID?
including COVID.
No, you have to take out those. So it's 93
so perhaps
trips
93
in
trips
60.
in about
60 months.
65 months or so.
Mm.
In
Dale?
addition to that, sir, Carrie Festa,
Uh-huh.
we bring in an entertainer, our entertainers, and
Mhm.
let's say we pay a particular entertainer $200,000 to perform
During Carrie Festa.
during Carrie Festa.
Mhm.
With this $200,000, I want to know why earlier this year
Where was the entertainer from? Sorry.
I assumed the Caribbean.
Oh,
through
the
bank.
Caribbean. Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yes. And earlier this year, my daughter had a panic attack.
Mhm.
We took her from molested one to QEH.
Mhm.
Upon arrival, nurse wheelchair came out. Nurses did the chat. Came back to us. That was around 2:30. They came back to me and my daughter. Let's say about 8. When the nurse came at 8 p.m., she took us into the room to chat my daughter, and she said, "Well, she need to do a ECG scan."
Mhm.
He said, "Well, Mr. Rowe, give me a couple minutes. She need to go and find the ECG machine." So the nurse left, came back 10 minutes later,
Mhm.
and then I was upset and I was annoyed. And the question I asked myself, and I said to God, why am I here? I don't think anything is seriously wrong with my daughter, but it's a serious question. Why am I here?
Mhm.
And then the spirit just said to me, ask the nurse, how are you doing? When she came back in, she's so flustered and she said, Ma'am, how are you doing? How was your day? She said, well, she was here from the 2 shifts in front, which was the previous night into the
Really?
current day.
Mhm.
And then she said, well, I said, so how this ECG machine work? What is it? Blah, blah, blah. She could not even find the nipples. It has, what's it called?
Leads.
The leads. They did not have the all of the leads to attach to my daughter to run the ECG machine. So then I observed, I witnessed, then she said, well, they don't have toiletry in certain areas. No, she started to complain. I did not believe it because
In the hospital?
in the hospital. This was an A&E.
Mhm.
I did not believe it because I know when you're a disgruntled staff, you add fuel to the
Everything
fire.
is wrong.
So then the doctor came around 1 a.m.
Mhm.
Young doctor.
Mhm.
I asked her the same question, how are you? And then she had to go and get ECG machine as well.
Mhm.
My daughter was admitted to ward C7 around 10 a.m. the following day. We gone up to the ward. I slept there the night. I woke up the morning, went to use the parents' washroom. I gone into the washroom. I saw another parent.
Mhm.
So it was a female. So when I was heading to I was like, I stepped back. She said, no, you could come, because all of the parents use the facility.
Facility, yeah.
So I went into the cubicle, closed the door, get rid of that stuff, come back out. Was gonna wash my hand, and then I went to go. There's no soap, no toilet paper, no napkin. And I asked the parent. She said, well, her son is really ill, and she was here for 3 months, and it's very bad condition. Ward C7 and C8 is connected, and then these tiles that we have here instead of C7, and at least about half of C7, the tiles fall out. I hate beds, and the nurses would have said on Ward C7 they had to force the hand of the hospital and close the ward. So Ward C7 children ward, C7 C8 children ward. So as a result of closing C7 short of beds, then the nurses have to use their own money to provide care for these young children. A lot of children in
How long ago was this deal?
this year, February. February 20th to be exact.
So they don't care about healthy children, and they don't care about
they don't.
unwell children. So it speaks about the kind of government that we have, the kind of leadership that we have. That if you can think of children that are unwell and you have them in those conditions, then we can obviously what is happening in our schools. And the entire government is in disarray. And we can see it. And I think Barbadians can see it, that whatever ministry that you can possibly think of, there is something tragic that is happening in those ministries. And our civil servants are primarily just working with the little means that they have, while we have someone jet shooting across the world.
Precisely.
That cannot be ethical.
And showing
It's
off
the
with
most
expensive
egregious
festivals.
action that you can have against your own people.
Yeah.
Unless if she's flying the plane on her own.
And hypocritical
Unless
as well, too.
it's just how do you do that? How does a government,
Mhm.
how does a leader consciously know
Precisely.
that these are the matters? And we speak a lot about African people and African diaspora and connecting to our roots. But then this is how you connect to us as your people. This is how you connect to children. This is how you connect to the parents. And I think the reality is that Barbadians need to understand that even if it's not happened to you directly, it's your relatives, it's your neighbors, it's people in your community that has been affected. And we need to become our brothers and sisters keeper and stand up and defend them as well. Just listening to you, where is the Minister for Health?
So before you ask that
He's in
question,
Africa.
I just have one more point. One more
Yes,
point.
please, Dale.
The government give Gemma's Lane for free.
Free. Yeah.
And now QEH is asking for $100,000.
There we are.
That's why I say
There we are.
people
Next
damn
door.
you know, sir.
Right next
These people
door.
talk
Dale.
down, you know, sir.
Mhm.
Honestly speaking.
Mhm.
Because there's no way I'm going to give away prime land
Yes.
that we own,
Yes.
and then we not going to beg our own people for $100,000, and we never
Yeah,
got
I
money
could
to
not
get
believe
school
it.
bags.
I could not believe it. $100,000.
I think that the what the bank is called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing them wrong.
A Frexim.
I think those persons should have given our government at least a little $500,000 to contribute to the hospital.
You mean
Because
millions?
the reason why I say that, I said
You
at
mean
minimum,
for the land?
no,
They should have paid for the land.
they should have paid something, because why we have a failing healthcare system.
Mhm.
The superheroes of our country today are the nurses.
Is that so?
Doctors and everyone else.
Yeah,
The medical staff.
The
Our
medical staff,
our
because
civil servants.
those
They're making personal sacrifices.
Yes.
personal
are.
sacrifice. Sir,
They are.
I did a presentation to some nurses, right, as relates to advice, financial advice, and a lot of those nurses and persons that work at the QEH don't have group health nor group life. They have to take their money to get stuff for the QEH.
Mhm.
In addition to that, they have to take their money and support themselves. Nurses can't even get car loans.
Mhm.
Nurses can't even get mortgages because the
Cannot?
salary is small.
Really?
And then we're going to import nurses from Ghana.
Mhm.
We're going to overlook our nurses here in Barbados. We have the best nurses in the world. Point blank period. I don't
Mhm.
believe that.
Mhm.
Because our nurses are paid more
When they go
when they go
to
overseas.
England and US.
Our nurses are trained really high.
Yes.
I
They're
have
trained
to-
here at BCC.
Yeah, we have a very high standard.
Yeah.
here as it relates to the nursing.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Doc.
Where is our Minister of Health?
Very good question.
I think he went to the trip as well.
He's on the trip
Yeah, he and the
looking for medical
Minister of
supplies.
Foreign
I heard.
Affairs. Well, apparently,
This at a
the
time
Prime
when
Minister
the
feels that
hospital here is begging for
Precisely.
So I said
Precisely.
misplaced priorities. Misplaced priorities. It's all about looking pretty,
yeah,
keeping up appearances, appearing to punch above your weight.
that's
Never
what
mind
Carifesta
people
was
falling
about.
through the cracks,
Precisely.
the gaping holes. It's all about keeping up appearances.
Yeah.
But people are struggling.
People are
And
struggling.
I've seen in public health in Barbados where people will quote unquote die before their time because of issues in the system, of treatable conditions because of various issues with our system.
Maxine McLean is telling us something. The QEH has not only been losing nurses, it has lost many consultants across several specialties. Doc, I'm not going to ask you to comment on the QEH because you're in the profession, and I don't want to get you in any trouble one way or the next. But that's Maxine's comment. But yes, I understand that the Minister of Health and the Minister of Foreign Affairs is on the African expedition as well. Apparently, it is unsafe for her to leave the two of them here in Barbados with the rest of the cabinet.
They were also together on the African expedition when our flag went into a grave in the ground.
Really?
Yes.
Dale, you want to say something?
Another point. I spoke to a lot of nurses, over 100 nurses, and the data that I've collected, nurses were saying that they have a long waiting list for CAT scans. And the reason for this is because there are some doctors have their private practice. They are sending the private clients to the QEH.
I see.
Charging them at the private practice and doing the CAT scans at the QEH. So then we have persons that can't afford the CAT scan
Who have to wait.
Yeah. And you know, like for me, where is the Minister of Health
in Africa?
Well, QEH is desperate for money. Has been very desperate for money for a very long time.
So we just spent $70 million.
What QEH
until they contradict me, we're going to say $70 million because it was not a cheap festival. So we can't be short of money if we just spent between 40 and 70 on Carifesta.
Amoy made a point.
And over $1 million on an expedition to Africa. We can't be short on money. Why is the QEH suffering? Because it is.
But what QEH does those tests for private patients because they pay QEH. So it's like fundraising for QEH.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's is a way to raise funds. So if they can do a CT scan for someone for $900, that's $900 that the QEH now has. To do it for a public patient, that's $0.
I see the point.
So are we hoping that the Minister of Health will resign very soon, or is anything of that?
Well, the Minister of Health is the second most powerful man in the government.
Yes, of course. And we were hoping with that kind of power and influence that good could be done by citizens. I think it's about time that we hold, as I said before, hold those ministers accountable. We cannot have persons be in the power of position and you have that authority. You have the authority to change the lives of people and better their lives, and nothing really has been done. It shows the level of accountability, and I think good governance requires accountability. It requires transparency. If the Minister of Health is not in the country, how come the average person like myself do not know that? A crisis in the country is happening. Where is the Minister of Health?
In Africa.
You know, sometimes I even wonder if they're, sorry to cut you off, if the ministry is self-sabotaging the Ministry of Health. I don't know, to privatize healthcare.
When is the last time you heard the Minister of Health say anything about anything related to health? And there's a junior minister in there.
I don't really listen. He talks a lot.
And during the estimates, he wanted to ask the third question, and they stopped him. This is the junior minister in health. That's Ishmael.
Yeah.
He wanted to add something, and they say, "No, you're not asking anything." And he was very upset. So I don't know if that's a gag order, but you're not getting anything from the ministers of health. How is the hospital out there begging for $100,000 and the minister is not saying anything? How is
begging
that
for
possible?
100,000, and
100,000
hundreds
measly
of
dollars.
thousands, hundreds of
Millions,
thousands
Elvis,
have been spent just on the trip alone.
on the
The
trip.
trip alone.
But
Yeah.
Carrie Festa too, because Bajans are concerned about this.
We
Money spent
paid
on
one
Carrie Festa.
artist $200,000 US.
For Carrie
That's
Festa.
five. That's
Carrie
4
Festa.
blood gas machines.
In
4
addition to
blood
that,
gas machines.
Yeah.
How many we have?
Well, the hospital, this $100,000 fundraising drive is to purchase 2.
You're on a.
Amoy
They
made
say
a,
ideally they need 5 to get 5.
And a private jet went to Africa
Yes, please.
at the cost of at least 300. And this is only
That's the
the trip
outgoing.
there.
Yeah.
Amoy made a very valid point as relates to the football.
Mhm.
Prime Minister's Cup, $100,000. But let us be realistic. How is that really benefiting the players? Because I know many players that barely get $200. $200. So you have a gas station job, or you're a bartender, or you working in sanitation, you're a teacher, you're a whatever profession.
Mhm.
You leave your job to go and train. You're not being paid to train,
Yes.
and then you have to play this tournament. When hopefully your team win.
If you're injured.
What is the tournament
Then we'll
about,
be
Dale? What does it prove? What is it?
So that-
Well,
Honestly, I believe it's just for canvassing and to make yourself look popular.
Yes.
Yes.
Reason being, because if you really care about the people and how the football will benefit the people, is there any scholarships coming out of this
Precisely.
this football?
And is it a semi-professional least
Something.
the benefit? It's just
So I
just
I
another
think there's a
festival.
more sinister
It's using taxpayer
reason as
dollars
well
to
too.
up her to make her more popular in the eyes of persons.
In the eyes of
Prime
persons.
Minister give you money,
yeah, the prime minister
Yes.
give you $100,000.
not from
Yeah.
her pocket, taxpayer dollars.
Remember how it ended last year? We would have had a dispute with the players as
Who the
to
players?
who should get the money.
I also think
Amoy.
it's just to fill up the blocks within the football season.
Mhm.
We had David Thompson football competition,
Mhm.
but now they've created this
Yeah.
this competition to fill up another block. So if you wanted to grassroots organizations, any football team that wanted to do an out of season football tournament,
Mhm.
the space or period of time within which you can do that is now greatly decreased
Decrease, yeah.
because
The
everything.
government has its own
Yes.
footballs.
But I think
So-
it's what is important that our spokesperson on sports spoke about that in terms of how this government sees sports. It's something transactional, and that's it.
Yes,
It's not
yes,
something that they
transactional.
really
Yeah.
want to invest
Yeah,
in.
it's not about development.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
Dr.
developmental.
Armstrong did
Correct.
hint on that
Yes.
we need to carefully criticize this government by
Yes.
using every opportunity to have a transactional relationship
Yes.
with
yes.
with citizens. So it's not about developing those skills.
No.
It's not about ensuring that they have scholarships. It's not
Mhm.
about ensuring that they have the right facilities to play those. It's really about that period of time. Let's market it. Let's do the popularity
Right.
game with it.
Marketing.
And not anything about upliftment and development of sports in the way that it truly should, the true essence of sports.
Before I came
So-
in here, I was going through the gram and I saw that I think we're supposed to be hosting the next netball
We are.
Yes.
World Cup here. I mean, right, well, we placed a bid for it.
Oh.
I thought to myself, netball? The government has ignored the Barbados Netball Association, the
Mhm.
calls that they have made for injection of monies, the calls they have made for, assistance in relation to the sport itself,
Mhm.
marketing. And to think that they are so presumptuous, or the audacity to think that they are going to host this international
Tournament.
here in Barbados. And what have they shown us? They don't give two walk-ups about the netball community. I mean, you
Talking
see the
about
state of
money,
the netball stadium?
it's
For how long have it been like that?
it's gone.
And it's gone. So now they have the gymnasium,
Mhm.
and I don't know, they have their own problems. I don't think they're ready.
Talking
They-
about money,
just talk.
Lemuel is telling us that the bank that the PM gave the land to has assets of what's that? 42.5
5
million
billion. That's billion with a B.
US.
Billion.
Tens of
US.
billions.
Thanks, Lemuel. The director is telling us to move on to disorder in government. You have a video for us, and we're going to try. You have a video for us. We have try not to laugh at these videos. 2 videos, okay.
Well, it's the true character.
this situation from the beginning to end. We also want to thank my family, close friends, my lawyers, my support team. I'm very grateful to them, and like I said from the beginning, even before it was charged, is that I knew that it was being set up for a crime that I did not commit, and I said that then, and I will say again now that I knew I was set up for a crime that I did not commit.
Any thoughts for your political future? You're going to continue? You're going to seek to be deputy
Well,
speaker
I never stopped working. I continue working even when I went through everything that I've been through. I continue working on the behalf of my constituents and never stop, and I will continue to do my best for them as well.
How about in the role of deputy speaker?
Well, I will discuss that with the PM. If I would decide to take back up the post or not.
Neil, what was the support like from within the Barbados Party, the Prime Minister, others? What was that support like for the last 2 years plus?
Honestly, I would like to extend gratitude to Dr. Jerome Walcott. He was one that I can honestly admit that was there at my side from the beginning to now. He was one that also had believed in my innocence, and I can admit that as well. Also, the Prime Minister, I want to thank her for her support as well in relation to the situation. It's unfortunate, that one of my colleagues will come and testify against me in a matter that, I know I did not commit. So that is very disappointing, especially a man that sits in cabinet. So I thought that he should have known better as well. So like I say, I'm very grateful, to be free and to prove my innocence as well. I remain firm throughout this whole situation because I knew within myself that I did not commit the act, right? I don't know why it's so unbelievable for a man to date a woman without having to be intimate, with her, But like I said, I'm grateful, and thanks to my legal team once again, to my close friends, my constituents, everybody that was there for me, everybody that sent me praises and letting me know that, they have me in their praise. I'm thankful to them, so I'm grateful. To God be the glory.
How has this affected you personally and your family?
Honestly, my name being dragged through the mud, it affected my mom, my parents, my children, especially knowing that, anybody that know me and really know me would know better. Right? Anybody that know me as a person would know better, right? But, it was a disgrace, to see that my name was dragged through the mud for something that I did not do. So that's one of the reasons I continue to maintain my innocence. I had to obviously display a level of strength, especially for my family and my children, right? Throughout this whole journey. But I'm thankful for God.
How would the testimony that you refer to affect your relationship with your colleague?
Well, I won't comment on that right now, to be quite honest.
Just another question on your family. I know that your daughter is facing a charge.
Well, that have nothing to do with this. This have nothing to do with this, but she have my support, but that have nothing to do with this.
And Neil, like you said, your future in politics, you still want to represent the people of...
Well, I never stop. I love what I do. I love my constituents. I never turn my back on my constituents throughout this whole situation. They continue to reach out to me. I continue to work on their behalf. So that would not stop. It will continue.
Captain, this ship is sinking. Captain, this seas are rough. Oh yes, we gas tank almost empty, no electricity. We oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we stay on it and perish slow? We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa.
To at least have some enclosing place that they can pursue their interests in commerce. I would like to know if the ministry is thinking about that, or just this kind of mundane, superficial approach to what is the ministry's role and so on, without any rationalization for why there's a necessity at this specific time. I'd be happy, Minister, if you could help me with that. I see you're tired, but...
Honorable Member, I really don't respect the language that you're using to me in relation to the work of my ministry.
What?
And talking about mundane, superficial stuff. You can hear me, the mic
I'm not
is here.
talking about your ministry doing something. You don't understand the English language?
Honorable member for St. Michael East.
What are you behaving like you're intoxicated?
Honorable member for St. Michael East. The
Oh, what did you
honorable,
say?
the honorable.
I did not offend him.
Honorable member for St. Michael East. The honorable member, the honorable minister has the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
This is an exercise of stupidity or what?
Not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other before I finish my song?
The director has told me to keep a very straight face, and he has asked all of you not to laugh.
I fail. I was getting my mouth.
We're going to spend the next few minutes discussing disorder in government. A lot of focus has been placed on the Democratic Labour Party with events last year, and the government has tended to get away with this image as being this united, homogeneous group of people who function harmoniously with each other. It's not true. I have a shopping list, Amoy. Glenn Clark went off to Canada, replaced by Tony Moore. John King, one of the few members of parliament who left the House of Assembly and went into the Senate. I mean, I don't know if there's precedent for that. After one term, though. Edmund Hinkson, well, he had a ministry for a few months. He followed his good friend Glenn Clark. Well, he's not followed him yet because I heard that he was hoping to be given diplomatic office. That has not happened. But he was fired. George Payne was fired. Trevor Prescott was fired. Peter Phillips was fired. Marsha Cattle was fired twice, although she came in the house and said that
when principles do not align,
you have to resign.
You have to resign.
Came in the house saying that she left to go and pay more attention to her constituents. So presumably when she was a minister, she was not paying attention to her constituents, but she was fired twice. Sonia Brown resigned. Dwight Sutherland, the Prime Minister, said he requested departure. He was fired. Corey Lane fired. Crystal Hayes dared to speak for heritage in Barbados, and she was fired. And how many names did I call? 4 and 3, 7 and 2, 9, 11. A cricket team of firings and resignations. Well, only one resignation really. I don't know. Glenn Clark would probably want to say if he resigned. But this speaks to, we call this aspect of the discussion disorder in government. And as I say, the mainstream media has given the government a very easy time. But we have 11 cases of departures from public office and worse, Doc, without public explanation, without any explanation. Bostic, oh yeah, Bostic, well, Bostic, kind of. He didn't run again. Oh yeah, he left. He had resigned as well. Did I call Lane?
Yes, we did.
But did Bostic resign while he was the minister?
Yes, I think he stepped down.
No, he just did not run again.
Yes, not.
Okay. So I wouldn't add him to this list. He stepped off.
After COVID.
The director has asked us not to laugh. Felicia Dujon.
But that's a start indicator of the instability within the government.
Yes.
And you know,
right after COVID.
It suggests that all is not well, Captain. The ship is sinking.
The captain is not.
Yes,
it's not on a ship. That's the problem.
Captain on private jet.
Private jet.
So yeah, all Barbadians should be concerned. I also, this just occurred. Well, not just occurred to me, but in talking about it and speaking with other persons too. Where's the media? Like there is a lot of robust reporting on these issues. Like I mean, if the
is it fair?
Of course not. But it's purposely done.
Not FAIR. What they're doing is unfair.
Yeah, for sure.
But is it fair among media? Is it fair among Calypsonians who, with all this instability and disorder in government, they haven't made a lot of calypsos about this disorder, this dysfunction.
Well, with the temperature of the government and I don't know, outright, when you speak up, you get ostracized. When you speak
You
up,
get fired.
you
Like
you get
Crystal-
fired, like
Crystal
some of the
Moon.
names that we
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
And
The
even
others
within,
didn't speak up.
even with the people, they don't want to come out and say anything
Mhm.
because they fear, being ostracized.
Wasn't it today or yesterday that the British Prime Minister fired a member of cabinet and explained that he fired him because of some association with the chap Weinstein or something?
Epstein.
Yeah, they explain. They always explain. They
Well-
always tell the public, you can't have a man or a woman serving as a minister, walks off into the night, and the public is not told.
Yeah.
The public is not told. It is public office. And you've been put there by the public. And if you depart from that public office, the public has a right. And certainly the people in St. George South have a right to know why their minister has disappeared from public office. They've
Lack
not
of
been told.
transparency, lack of accountability. That's just a repeated conduct from the government.
Yeah.
And if you don't hold their feet to the fire, who's going to?
Precisely.
They're just going to continue to do as they please.
Doc,
They can't do as they please.
I want to say it speaks of arrogance.
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't need to tell you anything.
And life goes on.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. Felicia, I don't know what Dale was there doing.
I'm ready for this one.
Okay, you go ahead, Dale.
When we look at employment from the standpoint of labor laws and a high turnover rate.
Mhm.
So when you see small operations constantly have to hire staff every 3-6 months or a year,
Good point.
we have to look at it from that angle because we have 11 resignations and or-
Departures. Let's
or
call them departures.
11 departures
Mm.
within 7 years. All that track record shows me incompetent,
Mhm.
Bad leadership.
bad leadership,
Mhm.
and pure destruction.
Mhm.
Destruction meaning that number one, these persons don't know what they are doing.
Mhm.
They are not fit to lead our country
Mhm.
because the party has 30 representatives.
In the house? No, they don't.
No, not in the house, but a party. I said a party have
Oh.
30 representatives,
Uh-huh.
but 11. When we do the math,
Yes.
there's a high turnover
Yes, that's
rate.
1/3.
A very high water, a
Yeah,
high turnover rate.
Yeah.
So the issue that we would have faced last year is nothing in comparison to what's going on here, sir.
We're not in government.
11?
They're in government.
11?
They're on taxpayers' money.
And then on top of that 11, you also have to consider the reshuffling that's going on behind the scenes.
Kerry
And
Simmons
who's
has
taking
Kerry
whose
Simmons
portfolio and who's
the time
giving
had
who's
three ministries.
yeah.
And every time a ministry was taken away from him, Lisa
But-
Cummins, it was handed to Cummins. What's the
He
story
wanted
there?
to send Barbadian farmers down to Venezuela. So I
Who-
don't listen
who
to
is that?
nothing Kerry Simmons has to say.
And now the Minister of Agriculture says he is bringing some company here to grow cotton.
100 acres of land will be given to a private investor
To do cotton.
to do cotton.
As it relates to management, the Chinese have a philosophy that they fire from the head down.
Well, yeah, the fish rots from the head.
So if the head bad, the body bad.
Yes.
And clearly, 11 departures, the head and the body bad.
These people are fooling Beijing.
Yeah.
Well,
As the competence.
the point, I think what has, in everything that we've spoken about this evening, what it seems that the government is unstable. And it has been unstable for a very long time. It's just that we have not taken much notice. Well, not the Democratic Labour Party, because they have been trying to distract us in various ways.
Mhm.
But one thing we can say about the Democratic Labour Party, regardless of what happens internally, our focus has still remained on the people's business. We have continued
Yes.
to represent the
Yes.
people and speak out
And
on the
thanks to you,
various
Felicia, on
and-
matters of
and
education.
all areas,
Yes.
agriculture,
Yes.
to youth, to sports, to all of the areas. We have continued to focus on the people's business.
Yes.
No
Yes.
matter how they have tried to portray that we have internal matters or whatever it is, when we leave the doors of George Street, we ensure that we conduct the people's business. And that's the difference. What we're seeing now, if this government spilling all of its its incompetence, being incompetent,
Mhm.
and it's been spilled out in the public. And what has happened, it has affected the lives of citizens. we have not done, our so-called internal matters have not affected the lives of
Precisely.
people the way it has in the last 7 years.
I want you
and
to.
I think this is what we really need to look at, that this government is in total disarray.
Yes.
And it is unstable and it is not good for governance. If you have to be changing your ministers every 6 months, it tells you something about your leadership. It tells you that you're not doing any oversight of your ministries. It tells you that you're spending too much time on these flights,
yes,
drinking champagne, while things need to be done at home. And this is the reality that we're dealing with. And if we continue with this pattern of governance where our children are being affected, our most vulnerable, our economy, I don't know, everything that they've been saying about where we're doing, we know the truth. And that is what I wanted to look at in terms of the Ministry of Education, regardless of how they attempted to mislead the public, the truth revealed itself. And this is what is happening with this government. They have lied to the people. They have been deceitful from day one. And it has continued to impact the lives of people, the average Barbadians. And the time will come that God will allow us and the people to take back reins of this government.
Thank you, Felicia. I'm going to ask for final comments tonight, just to remind our viewers that we looked at issues in governance, incompetence, corruption, and disorder. Dale, your final comment, please, as to the issues in governance and how this government has performed.
When we look at checks and balances, I love to say checks and balances.
Yes.
Reason being because we need to understand our role as a leader. Our role as an elected politician is to manage that portfolio effectively and efficiently.
Yes.
I believe that the Prime Minister should take some of the money and invest it into managerial training for her staff, because they don't know how to manage. They don't know how to manage the resources, nor the people, and they cannot get the best results. 11 resignations show me that that company is not functioning.
Yeah.
If I were to go into that company as an auditor, I would see all of the issues, and I will fire all of them. Point blank, I will fire all of them.
Thank you. Doc, I'm coming to you last. Amoy, your wrap-up statement.
Well, what I would like everyone to take from this session tonight is not to be distracted by what the government is doing. Well, we haven't been given a date. I think we can all agree that elections is very much in the air, and we're going to get a lot of red herrings, a lot of glittery and fancy stuff. Be focused. The government is unstable. As our last comment, we're talking about 11 ministers that have either been pushed or departed, jumped, resigned. It is a stark indicator of the lack of proper leadership. Yes, everybody talks about Mia Motley, but the facts are clear. And as Mr. Rowe just said, Mr. Dale Rowe, let's make that distinction, just said, it is an indication that the company is having problems. The Barbados Labour Party wants you to think that everything is all crisp and curry. It is not. It is not. And the Democratic Labour Party is also here to provide solutions, but we're just not sitting as a government in waiting. We are here to do the work of the people. And I stop with all these cliches and stuff like that. Talk to the people real, be honest. And that's just my take on it before I say something I might regret.
Thank you very much, Amoy. Doc, your wrap-up, please.
At a time when our hospital, the source of tertiary care for the vast majority of Barbadians, because excellent healthcare is available in Barbados. Right. If your pockets are very, very, very deep. QEH definitely has persons there who are capable of delivering that excellent healthcare. What QEH is in desperately need of, and indeed the polyclinics and the district hospitals throughout Barbados, resources. Apparently our country has the resources, because we have the resources to host an event that was supposed to be held by another country. That country declined. Barbados, Carifesta. Yeah, Barbados put its hand up and said, we'll do it. don't pay persons properly. Soon thereafter, our Prime Minister jet sets across the Atlantic Ocean while the hospital is left to walk around with a sponsor walk sheet to get money to buy urgently needed equipment. That could easily have been bought with the money that was used to fund that trip for the contingent. So this government has again showed misplaced priorities, likes to distract people. I urge Barbadians, to speak out now, speak out also at a ballot box. Demand of the government, any government that wants to run the affairs of this country, a priority on them, not lip service, because that's what we get now. We get lip service to the idea of taking care of Barbadians. But that clearly, when you look at how money is spent, not just how they allocate it, but how they actually then spend it, misspent. The health and well-being of Barbadians is not the priority. It's about imagery.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mayor cares less.
There's so much for me to add. A part of the evidence of this government's instability has been the fact that the country is always in preparation for an election. And that speaks to a government that has never really settled. We're always seeming to prepare for elections. Since last year, people were talking about government springing an election on the people of Barbados. Well, if that is so, we in the Democratic Labour Party, we are readying ourselves for an election. And I can say, quite frankly, we don't tell lies here. We have 26 candidates ready, willing, and to hit the road. And they've started canvassing, they've started campaigning, they've started knocking on people's houses. And if that time comes this year, we're going to be ready. If it comes next year, we're going to be ready. This party is in a state of readiness to take this country forward. I want to promise Barbadians that the Democratic Labour Party government will be a government with a difference. A government, if it is given a term of 5 years, we will endure for that term to develop this country. It is a mark of instability when a government finds that after 2.5 years, it is restless, the people are restless, and they are in preparation for an election. That is not good government. This is not good government. People of Barbados do not have good government. Ours is a commitment to the people of Barbados that we will be different, we can be different, we must be different, because this country must go on a different path of its political and economic development. We'll be writing a manifesto very, very shortly, and it will be a manifesto with a difference. It will be an honest manifesto. When we hold these shows, we speak honestly. We're coming back next Tuesday with another topic, perhaps the same panel, perhaps a different panel. But we have a lot of talent in this party. We have, most of them are new candidates. This Democratic Labour Party will be a different party from this party in office. Please have a good night. God bless you. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.